abroad for more than a quarter of a century, mostly in third world countries, and more than 10 of those years in the Middle East, where he came to know and understand clearly the true Islam, far better than most. He has received a number of awards, including one of the nation's highest civilian awards for valor in Cambodia, for rescuing wounded civilians from a bombed, burning building under hostile fire in 1975. Since moving to California, Jim has been active in the California Congress of Republicans, an associate with the Federated Republican Women, the United American Committee devoted to educating Americans about the true nature of Islam.
We are in a war, some people say, with terrorism. We are not at war with terrorism. Terrorism is a tool. It is the act of causing so much fear in an opponent that they want to cut and run or quit and submit. We are not dealing with special fundamentalist or radical Muslims. We are dealing with honest Muslims, like Osama bin Laden, who is emulating Muhammad and doing what the Quran tells them to do. They are being faithful to their religion. They want to terrorize us into submission to them. We haven't been doing too well. We have let the anti-God crowd, led by the American Civil Liberties Union, kick God out of our schools. They are now ushering Allah into our schools. Islam is a cult, nothing more. Muslims are working hard to make us submit. The Arabic word for submission is Islam. They want us to become Muslims or to accept dhimmitud. Dhimmitud is another Arabic word for being inferior, for being a second-class citizen. They want us to be dhimmis. We are not facing a foe, as we did with the Axis or communism. The cult of Islam is implacable, and this fact seems to elude many of our leaders. We have leaders who foolishly parrot Islamist taqiyya. Taqiyya is another word, propaganda. That Islam is a religion of peace, that Muslims are not the enemy. BS. Anyone who believes otherwise is incredibly ignorant or a simple-minded fool. Islam's assault is smart. And many of our leaders can't get a handle on this. They seem to be befuddled. Militarily, they are shooting at us, they're blowing us up, they're cutting our throats. They have no military identifiable command and control structures, so our generals are befuddled. They don't know where to go blow something up. Islam's goal is to weaken us. They are succeeding. Our finest are dying every day. We are not doing very well in Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Indonesia, the Philippines, Sudan, Somalia, or any place else where they are active. When they get into trouble with us, we get tough on them, like Fallujah, they hunker down to fool us while they regroup, get ready to reattack. They have blown up embassies, killed a close friend of mine, Ken Haas, in Beirut. They've blown up embassies, the USS Cole, the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, the Marine barracks in Beirut. They've taken hostages in Tehran, and they did 9/11. Why are they doing this? Who are we that we should deserve such wonderful attention? We are the linchpin of civilization, of what is basically good, decent, and civilized. The Muslims know that when and if the United States fails, so will go the rest of civilization. The atomic bomb terrorized the Japanese into quitting. We bombed the Nazis into submission. We did not use an A-bomb in Korea. We fought a limited objective, and we were beaten back to the DMZ where it began. We didn't use our force. We used limited force in Vietnam, and we were handed our own butts. We are now giving Muslims a silver platter on which they will hand our silver butts back to us. In Iraq and Afghanistan and other places, we're trying to fight by our rules. They won't follow our rules. They don't comply with our rules. Therefore, our rules don't comply. It stands to reason that we cannot win a war with them unless we follow their rules or establish some new rules of our own. Economically, they control our energy, oil. They charge us billions, the price goes up every day, and we pay, and we pay, and we pay. Our dollars buy every bullet, every grenade, every rocket, every landmine, politically correctly called an IED, that kills an American. They're using Yankee dollars to kill Yankee soldiers. They invest in us. They're taking control of us. They buy and control our stocks. They're in the stock markets. They bought into our media. They have silenced, to a certain extent, my favorite, Bill O'Reilly. He used to go after Saudi sheiks. Now the Saudis have bought into and own a substantial bit of Fox, and they sign his paycheck. Now the Saudis are off limits to Bill O'Reilly. We diminished O'Reilly rants about Rosie, about gays, about illegals and pedophiles. Something like the tabloid denizens, Geraldo and Jerry. It's sad. I would like to see O'Reilly do better. They control our energy sector via the boardrooms. They have established de facto limits to alternative energy. They are determined to keep us dependent on their oil. The Muslim lobby in the state houses and in the White House and in Washington, they use their money to fund, to buy or bribe politicians in every way. They buy toys, they pay for trips, they pay for campaign contributions, they pay for peccadillos, and they are often able to predetermine votes, something that you can't always do. Muslims have spent decades and billions in this country to study and learn about us and how we function. They speak our language, they know our religion, they know our society. They know how to take advantage of our goodness, of our kindness, of our decency, and thus to use that power to take us over. We have become so tolerant that we tolerate the intolerant. Let me say that again. We have become so tolerant that we tolerate those who are intolerant. They know our laws better than most of us do, and they are using them to subvert us. They have thousands of bankers and lawyers increasingly in control of our everyday life. They have infiltrated our government